You have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before.
He's got guns and he's got semen-coated VHS tapes.
No.
I would have went in a hazmat suit.
This is so sad.
All of it means something a little different to me than it does to everybody else.
Damn. And because Jag knew about this for years.
So what's next, Jag? What happens next, you know?
Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have.
I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected. There's not a day that's gone by in the past 4 years that I don't acknowledge that because of what I choose to do, I might lose my life today. That's a reality. I could let that freak me out. I could let that make me scared. Or I could say, I got good friends, people that believe in me. And I'm just going to keep going forward.
The internet doesn't just react anymore, it erupts. And right now, it feels like something bigger than a normal celebrity scandal is unfolding in real time. Because when whispers turn into viral claims, and those claims start circling names like 50 Cent, Diddy, and Jaguar Wright, you already know this isn't going to stay quiet for long. What started as another wave of online speculation quickly took a sharp turn when alleged tape claims began trending. No clear proof, no confirmed footage, just fragments of conversations, reactions, and a growing sense that something serious might be sitting beneath the surface. And in the middle of all that noise, one voice stood out, not because it was loud, but because of how calculated it felt. 50 Cent didn't jump in screaming. He didn't panic. Instead, he did what he always does. He watched, waited, and then spoke in a way that made people stop scrolling and start thinking.
Then confirming me and then talking about, that all happened a day before the report about the 9-year-old boy was released. And before people started confirming that the video that was being shopped around was Bieber and Diddy. See, that's the problem with running your mouth, Vlad. That's the problem. You didn't realize on Monday that every word that you said was going to be invalidated on Tuesday.
Real life. It ain't real life.
It ain't real life. Just say. Real life street dog. Know what time it is.
He brought you on to speak on Diddy, and it seemed that as if your focus turned to Jay-Z, his wife.
That's always been my focus.
Yes. What?
They're one and the same. Tell me something. When you have a peanut butter jelly sandwich, if it's just peanut butter, it's just peanut butter. If it's just jelly, it's jelly. When you put it together, it becomes a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and the taste is undeniable.
You saying Diddy and Jay-Z is peanut butter jelly?
Peanut butter and jelly. Let's deal with the sandwich.
We asked you this last time, and Piers Morgan said it. They're not here to defend themselves. Do you think the Carters will speak about any of this at all? Do you just feel that they'll make any statement about what's going on?
Beyonce is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say so?
I mean, probably not, considering she's going to be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there. How many people does he have to be aware of before people see him for who he is?
It seems like these artists are trying to run away from their past. Diddy changed his name multiple times to say, that's not me. I'm trying to move beyond Diddy. I'm Love now. It seems like Jay-Z would try to run away from his past.
Calling that nigga Love and anything that he did love. Brother Love. What kind of love? Baby oil love. Baby love. Baby love. Explicit love. Hey! They never thought that hip hop would take it this far.
Oh man, it's different now.
These lyrics are all hitting different right now. All the people talking about fathers.
Because when 50 reacts, it's never just entertainment, it's strategy. And somehow his response didn't calm the situation, it made everything feel even more real. To understand why this moment feels so heavy, you have to look back at how all these names became connected in the first place. Because none of this came out of nowhere. This tension has been building for years, quietly, slowly, like pressure behind a locked door. Diddy has always been one of the most powerful figures in the music industry, not just as an artist, but as a businessman, a deal maker, and someone who helped shape the culture itself. His influence runs deep through music, fashion, and relationships that stretch across decades. To the public, he's been the image of success, the blueprint of how to turn talent into empire.
It just says, Jay-Z is the real monster. Now, before you speak on it, to even get to Piers Morgan, can you explain how that took place and why even take that interview to go forward?
Well, excuse me.
Bless us.
I can't say that I sought it out because I didn't. Truth is we didn't see it coming. But I have to credit Odell.
Shout out Odeezy.
My love. I have to credit him because since we've combined and joined forces and become a hell of an investigative journalism team. See, I'm the content, I'm the passion, I'm the voice. I'm also the brain, but I do too much by myself. That's the brain. That's the administrator. That's the bloodhound. And he, there were so many people that hacked into so many of my accounts. People didn't even know how to get in touch with me anymore. And Odell created that lane. And they reached out to him. Piers Morgan's producers called him directly. And we talked about it briefly, and I said, we have to do it. We have to. Because the one thing I know about Piers Morgan is he is smart prey. And not only is he smart prey, he is a great conductor of information. He also vets things viciously. And I want to thank you for that. Because if my word is good enough to make it through Piers Morgan's firewall of please don't sue me, then I guess he just vetted me for every ounce of real life content on this blue couch. We thank you for that.
Do you feel that Piers Morgan allowed you to get, because you only have so many minutes, I know you don't know exactly how the show is going to be structured.
Yeah.
Did you get what you want to say out? And was there more for you to say? Of course there's more to say.
I'll never have enough to say.
Right.
There will never be enough screen time for me to say. But what I will say is, I'm grateful for the questions he asked. I'm grateful for the time he gave me to answer. And I pray that I was able to hit everything that needed to be hit for the public.
How did you feel about Vlad going after you?
I loved it. I saw the lineup immediately,
Right.
especially when I saw the lawyer Ariel, kid that came after. What Pierce did was brilliant journalism.
Right.
He created a beef without there being one. And he created multiple episodes for confrontation after. It's brilliant.
It is, Vlad has said, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
He has never wanted you on a show. He has
Ever.
reached out to you.
You know what? Hold up. Drum roll. Where do I find that receipt?
We got, is there,
Let me check.
yeah, there's receipts?
No, it's on your YouTube, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
let me go over here to my baby's channel, Set in the West. Shout out to
Shout out
Set in the West.
running the numbers up. Go there for all the exclusive.
You know, it's so funny.
But here's the thing about power. It attracts attention, and sometimes it attracts questions people are afraid to ask out loud. That's where Jaguar Wright comes in. For years, Jaguar has been known as someone who doesn't hold back. She's not the type to protect reputations just to stay in the industry's good graces. Instead, she's built a reputation for speaking openly, sometimes too openly, about what she claims happens behind the scenes. At first, many people dismissed her. They labeled her as controversial, unpredictable, even unreliable. But over time, something shifted, because even when people doubted her tone, they couldn't completely ignore the consistency of her message. She kept pointing at the same circles, the same patterns, the same names. And eventually, people started listening, even if they didn't fully believe. Now fast forward to this moment, where viral allegations about a supposed tape begin circulating online. Again, nothing confirmed, no verified footage, just enough detail to make people uncomfortable, and just enough mystery to keep them watching. And somehow, Jaguar's past statements suddenly feel connected. Not proven, not validated, but connected enough that people are going back, replaying her words, trying to see if there were clues hiding in plain sight.
What is the protocol for a woman that's getting an abusive relationship? What is she supposed to do?
Well, it all depends on who the man is.
Someone
Or the
that's
woman.
rich with power, like P. Diddy.
I wish somebody would ask why Tweet was so suicidal for so long, walking around with Missy Elliott. You know, I'm just tired of motherfuckers lying about this.
People constantly covering it up.
Just lying. All the women that have been hurt. You know, I remember the first time that happened to me. Took me 8 weeks before I could cough without wanting to vomit. 2 cracked ribs. They beat everybody the same way.
Damn. That's crazy.
It's like there's a fucking handbook when they sign their record deals. How to fucking hurt her and keep her loyal. That nigga was so fucking like gung-ho that he woke up out of his sleep to whoop her.
That's a fact. Running down the hallway, butt naked. That's crazy.
So what I would like to do, first of all, Jag, I want to say happy birthday.
Thanks.
I know you wake up to this on your birthday. You see
What
this,
a birthday gift, right?
Right.
But I want everybody to know that what they're watching is what set a lot of things that are happening now in motion. There is a moment where enough becomes enough.
Hey, Jag.
Hey, babe.
It's Angel. Hi.
I know who it is.
Happy birthday for me as well, honey. As fabulous as you are. I want to know, I know that you have mentioned in previous interviews that there's nowhere to go when you are dealing with physical abuse or assault, when you're in these situations with these men who are in these positions. That there's, everyone's being paid off in some sort of way. How, when you know that, hey, this is a detriment to my life, how do you go about it? Do you kind of tell anybody that will listen so that there's a record? Do you try to run? Can you run?
The more people you tell, the more danger you are in. Because everyone's going to pick what side they want to fall on. And if you have more people that are worried about dancing with the devil than dancing with the angels, then you're on your own. So it's better not to say anything. You got to vet everyone that you talk to thoroughly. Make sure they're not on the devil's take, and then
That's true.
you gotta see if you can find somebody that's willing to be brave enough to.
Cause like even let's just take Young Miami for an example. She's with Diddy right now. She gets paid around like $250K a month to do all these heinous things at these parties and with workers, and it goes very, very far. Now the people that she's surrounded with, she's probably surrounded with girls, from the strip club or ones that want to be city girls. They're literally gonna tell her, yo, get that money. You know what I'm saying? Go through it. She's gonna have all this support telling them to.
But here's the twist. Instead of jumping into the chaos, 50 Cent steps in with a reaction that feels less like gossip and more like a warning. He doesn't confirm anything, he doesn't deny anything, but the way he responds, it's careful, almost like he understands the weight of what's being said without needing to repeat it. And that's what made people uneasy. Because 50 isn't known for being subtle. He's built his entire brand on saying exactly what's on his mind, no matter who it offends. So when he chooses to hold back, when he chooses his words instead of throwing them, that silence between the lines becomes louder than anything he could have posted. What nobody expected was how quickly his reaction shifted the conversation. Suddenly, this wasn't just about rumors anymore. It became about what people in the industry know and what they're choosing not to say. Social media exploded with theories. Fans dissected every word, every emoji, every pause in his message. Some believed he was hinting at deeper truths. Others thought he was simply protecting himself from getting pulled into something bigger than internet drama. But either way, one thing became clear. This situation wasn't being treated like a joke anymore. And then, just as the tension reached a boiling point, more voices started creeping in. Not loud statements, not official responses, just small, subtle reactions. A comment here, a repost there. Enough to keep the conversation alive, but not enough to provide answers. It felt like everyone was watching, but nobody wanted to be the one to speak first. Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright's past clips started resurfacing again. Interviews, live streams, emotional breakdowns where she talked about feeling isolated, targeted, and silenced. At the time, many people brushed those moments off as personal struggles playing out online. But now, those same clips feel different. They feel heavier, because when current rumors start echoing past warnings, it forces people to ask a question they were avoiding before. What if she wasn't just talking? What if she was trying to be heard? But here's where things get complicated. In a world driven by viral content, truth and speculation often get mixed together until it's impossible to separate them. And that's exactly what's happening here. There's no clear evidence, no confirmed narrative, just layers of claims, reactions, and a growing sense that something isn't adding up. And right in the middle of that uncertainty is 50 Cent, watching, reacting, but never fully stepping in. That distance, it says a lot.
Y'all ain't seen it. It's just taste.
Ooh. Wow.
The thing that fucks me up is I know what Boo done for me. But I know there's another tape of me. And I'm just waiting to see where that's going. Wait to see another tape of me.
Oh, she's saying that there's another tape of her probably doing something, and she's having a feeling now as if it's gonna come up. Because at this point, she definitely has a good understanding that a lot of things are getting exposed right now. So that's probably been in the back of her mind. I wonder if what I did 20 years back or so, or 15 years back, is gonna come up.
Me up is.
Seems like the industry is falling apart right now.
What Boo done for me. But I know there's another tape of me. And I'm just waiting to see where that's going.
Where do you think that thing stands for Young Miami, for Carisha?
I think that she just slit her wrist.
Oh, Carisha's Young Miami. I didn't even know that.
Just like that. Those. I don't know why you complaining about eating shit. It's all right by me. I hate it's like her. The sexy reds. The Nicki Minaj. But see, those was already trash when they came. So they don't mind being shit all over. That's why they so overzealous. That's why they work so hard. See, it's easy for them. They used to it. Why y'all just want everybody to be hurt as bad as yours? They be setting up just to watch them get so they can feel better about themselves. Don't you, Onika?
It's wicked. That's wicked.
That'd be the best birthday gift ever. All drop dead instantly.
So are you saying that like these female artists who are over in the public, they're that way for a particular reason because they're engaging in these
with their damn being down for every last bit of it. That they ain't down for the Tootsie get them good. Ain't that right?
Bro, she knows. She was in their position before.
25 years I've been working in this town.
It's just like, it's too crazy for people to believe.
And where I'm at right now, I look to my left and I can see Marina Del Rey. Where I left Cat. And to my right, I see Santa Monica, where I shot my Coca-Cola commercial when I was pregnant with Sam.
I think that THC starting to kick in a little bit for Jag right now.
I look behind me and I see Sunset Boulevard. all those drugs and all that crime.
Because if this were just another celebrity scandal, he'd be leading the jokes, turning it into viral moments and keeping the internet entertained. But instead, his tone feels different, measured, careful, almost like he understands that crossing a certain line could pull him into something he'd rather observe from the outside. And that realization alone made people stop laughing. Because when someone known for fearlessness starts moving with caution, it changes the energy completely. As days passed, the conversation didn't die down. It grew. More discussions, more breakdowns, more attempts to connect dots that may or may not even be there. Some fans became investigators, trying to piece together timelines. Others stepped back, questioning whether this was all just another example of how quickly narratives can spiral out of control online. But beneath all of that noise was something deeper, a sense of discomfort. Because whether the allegations are true or not, the way people are reacting to them reveals something about the industry itself. It shows how quickly trust can crack, how fast alliances can feel uncertain, and how silence can sometimes speak louder than statements. And for Jaguar Wright, this moment feels like a strange kind of validation, but also a heavy burden. Because being heard doesn't always mean being believed. And even when people start paying attention, it doesn't erase the years of being dismissed, questioned, and pushed aside. Imagine carrying that weight, speaking your truth, watching people doubt you, and then suddenly seeing those same people circle back when something new surfaces. It's not vindication, it's complicated. And for Diddy, the impact is just as intense, but in a completely different way. Because when your name becomes part of a viral narrative like this, it doesn't just affect your image, it affects everything connected to you. Your legacy, your relationships, your business moves. Even if nothing is proven, the perception alone can shift public perception. And in today's world, perception moves faster than facts. That's the reality nobody wants to admit. For 50 Cent, though, this moment reinforces something he's always understood. Timing is everything. Knowing when to speak, when to stay quiet, and how to position yourself in a conversation without getting consumed by it. He didn't need to say much, because sometimes the strongest message is the one that leaves people thinking instead of reacting. And that's exactly what he did. Now the question is, what happens next? Because situations like this don't just disappear. They either fade quietly, leaving unanswered questions behind, or they explode into something much bigger. And right now, it feels like the story isn't finished. It feels like we're only seeing the surface. Because when multiple voices, past and present, start aligning, even loosely, it creates a tension that doesn't just go away. It lingers. It builds. It waits. And maybe that's the most unsettling part of all this. Not what's been said, but what hasn't. Because in a world where everything is shared instantly, silence becomes suspicious. And when powerful names are involved, that silence carries even more weight. So, as the internet keeps watching, reacting, and speculating, one thing remains clear. This isn't just about a viral moment. It's about perception, power, and the cost of speaking versus staying quiet. And whether the truth ever fully comes out or not, the impact of this moment is already being felt. Reputations are being questioned, old conversations are being revisited, and people are starting to look at the industry with a little more skepticism than before. Because once doubt is introduced, it doesn't disappear easily. It stays, it spreads, and it changes how everything is seen moving forward. So now, all eyes are still locked on this situation, waiting for clarity, waiting for responses, waiting for something solid to hold on to. But until that happens, the story continues to live in that uncomfortable space between truth and speculation. And sometimes, that's where the real tension lies. And the truth is, that uncomfortable space doesn't just affect headlines, it affects real people, real emotions, and real lives behind the scenes. Because while the internet treats this like a mystery to solve, the individuals at the center of it are dealing with something much heavier. For Jaguar Wright, this moment feels like standing in the middle of a storm she's been warning about for years. Imagine speaking out over and over again, feeling ignored, dismissed, even laughed at, and then suddenly the world starts echoing pieces of what you've been saying all along. But instead of relief, there's pressure, because now every word she's ever said is being replayed, analyzed, and judged under a microscope. People aren't just listening anymore, they're expecting answers. They want clarity, proof, confirmation. And when someone has already carried that emotional weight for so long, that kind of attention doesn't feel empowering, it feels overwhelming. And then there's Diddy. No matter where the truth stands, being at the center of a viral narrative like this creates a ripple effect that's impossible to ignore. Business partners start paying attention. Industry relationships become more cautious. Every move, every silence, every appearance gets interpreted in ways that may not even reflect reality, but perception doesn't wait for proof. That's the harsh part about fame at that level. You don't get the benefit of quiet. You don't get time to process. You're expected to respond, even when responding could make things worse. And while all of this unfolds, 50 Cent continues to stand just outside the center of the storm, watching, calculating, moving carefully. His reaction might have seemed small on the surface, but emotionally, it shifted everything. Because when someone known for turning drama into entertainment suddenly treats a situation with caution, it sends a message without needing to explain it. It tells you this might not be something to joke about. It tells you there could be layers people don't fully understand. And most importantly, it reminds everyone that not everything viral is meant to be taken lightly. That emotional tension between what's said, what's assumed, and what's left unsaid is what's keeping this story alive. It's not just curiosity anymore, it's unease. Because deep down, people are starting to question something bigger than this one situation. How many stories like this exist that never go viral? How many voices speak up and never get heard? And how many truths get buried simply because they're too uncomfortable to face? That's what makes this moment hit differently. It's not clean, it's not clear, it doesn't come with a satisfying answer or a neat ending. Instead, it leaves people sitting with questions that don't have immediate answers, and that's something the internet isn't used to. But maybe that's exactly why it matters, because sometimes the most powerful stories aren't the ones that get solved, they're the ones that make you look at everything a little differently. So as this situation continues to unfold, as reactions keep coming in and the noise keeps growing louder, one thing is certain, this isn't over. Not yet. And whether the truth eventually comes out or stays hidden behind layers of speculation, the impact has already been made, the conversations have already started, and the way people view the industry has already shifted. So now it's just a matter of time. Time for more voices to speak, time for more pieces to surface, or maybe time for silence to say everything it needs to say. Either way, this story has left its mark, and if you've been following closely, then you already know, moments like this don't just disappear, they evolve. So keep your eyes open, keep questioning what you see, and don't just accept everything at face value. Because in a world where everything moves fast, the truth has a way of revealing itself slowly, and when it finally does, it changes everything. If you made it this far, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next, because this story, it's still unfolding.
And maybe that's the part nobody is ready to fully face yet. Because this situation was never just about one viral moment. It became something bigger the second people stopped scrolling and started questioning. What began as rumors turned into conversations, and those conversations slowly turned into doubt, not just about what's being said now, but about everything that may have been ignored before. For Jaguar Wright, this moment sits in a complicated space between being heard and being scrutinized. The same voice people once brushed off is now being replayed, re-examined, and taken more seriously than ever. But attention doesn't always feel like support. Sometimes it feels like pressure, like the world is watching and waiting for you to prove something that was never easy to carry in the first place. For Diddy, the weight comes from a different direction. When your name is tied to something that spreads this fast, it doesn't matter whether it's confirmed or not, the impact still hits. Public perception starts to shift. People look at you differently. Even silence becomes a statement, whether you intend it to or not. And then there's 50 Cent, watching, reacting just enough to be felt, but never enough to be fully pulled in. And maybe that's what made his presence so powerful in all of this, because sometimes the quietest reactions carry the loudest meaning. He didn't have to explain anything. The way he moved said enough. But here's the truth. We may never get a clear, perfect answer to everything that's being said right now. And that's what makes this moment feel so heavy. It's not about closure, it's about realization. Realizing how quickly things can change, how fast narratives can shift, and how much of what we see is only part of a much bigger picture. So as this story continues to unfold, remember this. It's okay to question, but it's also important to stay grounded. Not everything viral is truth, but not everything dismissed is false either. The reality often sits somewhere in between, waiting for time to reveal it piece by piece. And if there's one thing this situation has shown, it's that silence, reactions, and timing all play a role in shaping what we believe. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think is really going on here? Do you believe there's more beneath the surface? Or is this just another case of the internet running too far with speculation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And if you made it this far, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next update. Because stories like this don't just end, they evolve.